Okay. You caught this part of the show. You've caught the pre-show. We'll start here in a few minutes. Just trying to get the last few things squared away, and then we'll be ready to start. Let's see if yes, success. Okay, we're gonna start in just around 2 minutes. So we'll try to start at 8:35. So running a little bit behind schedule, but I think we're almost there. Okay, I think we're gonna take off, start. So get the last few things nailed away. But yeah, it's time to start. This is Pete's Tech Den, show number 9. So next week is 10. We'll see what we'll do for that, I guess. But so show number 9. Yeah, and we if you haven't joined us here before, we talk tech, and we talk about taking old tech and doing new things with it, repurposing it, bringing it new life. We like to take people's trash and make it into our treasure. Perhaps I should say, well, what other people see as trash, we see as treasure, as untapped potential. So yeah, lots of fun we have here, doing all kinds of things. But yeah, so that's what we do. We also kind of, I mean, and just because we look at like, it's, that's half of it. The other half is just doing it for cheap. So looking at, how can you do things like the least expensive to really push the boundaries and of what you can do with the amount of money. That might be kind of interesting. See, maybe I'll do something. Got an idea. But we could have just got an even better idea. But that'll have to wait for another time. Let the suspense bring you back each and every week. But yeah, so yeah, this is and then of course we can basically have 3. Just taking what other people see as trash, and we see it as a treasure. We see it doing cool things with it, doing things cheaply, and then the third thing is we talk about. Sometimes we'll talk about ethical issues. We've had some pretty good shows. We opened with a really good one. If you haven't seen show number 1, you should go back and listen to it. If you want to hear a little bit more about me and who I am and what this show is all about, go back and see show number 0. If you go out to the website, Pete's Tech Den, all one word, no apostrophe, .wordpress.com. Go to the About section, and you'll see show number 0 there. Just put it there because it's basically, what's the show about? Why? Who am I? So let's see if we get this working. But yeah, so that's show number 1. We also post all the shows out at Pete's Tech Den as a website. And then we also have a Facebook page, which I guess I should look at what the URL are. Oh, that reminds me. I need to go post. Okay, yes, here it is. The URL for the Facebook page is Facebook/Pete's Tech Den. So as normal. But you can also pick up all these links out at the website, petestechden.wordpress.com. And then, of course, I got the YouTube channel, which is just be able to click on the link below the video and see that. Yeah, don't got anybody out there tonight. Hopefully we'll get a few more as we go along in the long. But so yeah, it's kind of. But yeah, so shows get posted out on the YouTube channel, website, and also the Facebook page. So if you were watching for the live event, if you saw it this week, you'll notice that it changed. But I don't know, I was having a hard time trying to figure out, what I was going to do for this week, and thought about. It's like, well, listen to the show. I think I'm supposed to talk about PSNs or Sophos today, but I just haven't had time to work on it and get that stuff ready for the show. So it's like, put it off. Probably be next week, but we will see. Hoping to get to work on some of that stuff. And the desk. We'll see if I can get everything figured out this weekend for that. But then I was like, well, I'll do something kind of crazy and just like try to load an operating system live with Raspberry, mess around with the Raspberry Pi. Just like, well, and then it hit me. I was like, oh, what I should talk about? It's like LTSP. I was like, oh man, that's perfect. That'll give me a little more time to work on the Raspberry Pi. Make sure I get everything ready for that. For when we do that. But yeah, so that's what's up with the change. We'll hit the Raspberry Pi later. But yeah, and I just need to get better. I need to start proactively looking, trying to get some sun, so you don't have to listen to me all the time. So I'm sure you'll enjoy that. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at tonight. LTSP. And that was a roundabout. That's why we had all the change. And how we got to tonight. Just waiting on a few things. Just having to finish doing some updates on the LTSP server, so that it would be semi up to date. I don't turn it on much. I use it more at work, which actually cool because LTSP is Linux Terminal Service Project. No, I gotta remember this. It's Linux Terminal Server Project. That's what it is. I was like, oh my goodness, how it right? Yes, Linux Terminal Server Project. It's actually used quite a few places. Because if you go to the website, like it just shows you everywhere it's used. Wow. The biggest user of it is Greece. Kind of Greece uses it. Of all the people that use it, 60%. 60% of the users are in Greece. The US, US is 4.1%. There's 30 places is being used in the US. But that's probably about the. So we're number 2, far behind. Far behind, but it's used all over the place. So it's kind of cool. But what it is, have you ever heard of Linux? No, hit the mic. If you ever heard of Citrix, it's Citrix. It's basically LTSP is basically the Linux version of Citrix. But basically, the idea is that you have your operating system and like all your major, basically all your programs and stuff reside on a central server, and then you have all these all these thin clients, or basically workstations that they're basically like a computer, except they don't have a hard drive. They have a little bit of flash memory, but it's usually like a couple of gigs or something like that, so fairly small. But basically, the idea is that it runs the operating system and all the programs over the network. And so, when I first went to college, I mean, that's what they had. That's how they had they had one central server that ran all these thin clients all over campus that were all the, all the computer labs, some of the offices. But, and they had Citrix, and so they're running Windows XP. So, yeah, a while ago. But yeah, so that didn't work so they were slow. I mean, there are these HP thin clients, which actually have one, actually 2 of them. Sorry, should have gotten this out beforehand, but yeah, so they look like this. Then you've got a little base that you stick on. Oh, other way? No, just further back. Clips on like that, and then you just set it down. So they've got these guys all over campus. So they've got ports on the back, some ports on the front, power button. But yeah, so we've got these. I actually had them rented, but so lease expires, ship, turn them all. Well, we returned most of the thin clients. We actually had I think it was like 12 or 13 of them left over. 2 of which came to me since I asked about them. But the big thing was we had to return the Citrix server. And so without that guy, these guys pretty much worthless. I mean, you could plug like a hard drive or USB stick or something in one of the ports, USB ports, and run the operating system off of that. But that's not very convenient. So they were basically worthless. So I asked, and they gave me a couple. They saw some benefit from that because I took this because I had found that before I asked them, I found that there was found LTSP. So I was like, oh, Linux version of what we need to be able to run these. So I was like, shoot, and they should run. Let's see, they should run better with Linux because it's the lighter operating system. Not quite as memory heavy as Windows is. But yeah, so I took them and I took an old computer, which I'm not sure what I think it's a Pentium 4 with like somewhere between 512 megabytes and a gig of RAM. So, and I think it's got a 40 gig hard drive, so nothing too spectacular. Yeah. So, but yeah, so I took that and got my brother to help me, and we got LTSP working on it. The thing is, there's actually two ways to do it. You can do it through you can do it where you have you can install it via the LTSP, or you can actually get it through Edubuntu. Is another way to get it going. I ended up using I think it's pretty much all the same thing. I think it's just Edubuntu has LTSP built into it. So the idea is that you then Edubuntu adds like a nice user interface. But for me, the computer I was trying to run it on was so old, it just couldn't handle. It couldn't handle a GUI, graphic user interface. No. It's actually I built it and got it running with my brother to run it headless. So it's got Ubuntu 12.04 on it. So it's got that on it. But it's like it's got the operating system on there, but it's not. It's just running a headless. So it's basically when you're interacting with the server, it's all command line. But I mean, it worked, and I actually got it to put it test. I took the server back to work and actually set it up for registration. Last year, they needed some computers in the business office to have students get on. They just needed to get out to the web. Just needed a web browser. That was it. And being a small school, we don't have, they needed like 3, and it's like 3 computers, and it was like, we don't have 3 computers. We don't have 3 spare computers lying around. So we actually put this to use. We set a server up with the specs, and we ran 5 thin clients off of it. So it gave them 5, a little bit more than what they needed. But we still have like 10 of them, but sitting back there. So it was figured, you might as well throw them out there, give them a little bit extra, a little bit of space, room just in case. But everything ran fine. It was great. Because previously I actually set up 11 clients running off this thing, all of them open, all of them with web pages open, just to kind of see what it would do, and it actually ran fine. So that was pretty. I mean, it was pretty crazy. But it's just a way of showing you, like, you could take. I mean, for if you're gonna use them on a more regular basis, you might want to get something with maybe a little bit more horsepower in it, but you can do it with very minimal and throw stuff up quick. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Okay. Oh my my terminal is not acting right. I need to get it updated. Is what I need to get done. But I will do that later. I'll concentrate on this. But yeah, and I was actually kind of interested to see, because not everybody's gonna have thin clients laying around. But I was like, I wonder how much that cost. Actually, went out to eBay, started looking around, and just on the first page, like, you're probably looking at between. I mean, there's thin clients here, all over the place. Probably here's like a lot of 4 of them for like $40. Huh. And then this one, 100% of the sales will benefit computers to SD kids. But yeah, it's a lot of 4 of them for $40. And $25 shipping and handling. So, but still, that's like $16 a thin client. So they're actually out there for fairly cheap. Again, I would not suggest running Windows on them. I just haven't had very much. For when we did run Windows on them, they were terrible. Linux though works really well since it's a lighter operating system and can still run on very little resources. But yeah, so now the thin client decides to behave itself. At least I think it is behaving itself. We shall see. But yeah, so lots of cool stuff you can do with them. But yeah, let's start looking at some. Because basically with the server, you start there. You can, if you have more resources and can run, and your server can handle a GUI interface. Edubuntu probably the best bet because it's got the user interface. Makes it very easy to set up and run. See if I can. Whoa, sweet. They've got a way to try it on web online. So we'll spin it up and go for it. Oh, they do. The page starts off. The web line live service is fortunately offline at the moment. It says this is due to our current sponsor, Revolution Linux, being unable to pay the bill for 2 dedicated servers. They're looking for a replacement sponsor. Well, see if we can. See if I can pull up some images or something. It is LTSP built straight into it. Let's see if I can pull it up. Get some images called. I want some pictures. Screenshots. This is what I'm looking for. Doesn't show the pictures I'm looking for. It basically shows, hey, here, check this box to install LTSP. You know what? We're gonna get smarter. Boom. Now that I got the page up, we're gonna take you over and do the screen share. Start screen. Okay. And now I'm gonna remember to present to everybody. So I made a mistake I've made many other times. So you can see here, basically once you install, you just say here, say start LTSP server or LTOS live. And the big thing for the server is you want 2 network cards. And so basically, you're going to basically select whatever interface it should start on. And so that one will be 0, and the second one will be 1. Huh. But yeah, it looks like there's some configuration there that you could get around and just use one. But I think if you're going to have too many of them, you're probably going to want 2 dedicated. So that you can have all your traffic from one on one, and then have your inbound traffic on one and your outbound on the other. And you're ready to go. That's all it takes. Wow. And then your server is up and running. But yeah, so looks like it's fairly simple. Look up at this other one. Oh, good. This is a great picture. You can see you have your internet. Huh. You have your internet, standard computer terminal server, then your Ethernet switch to your terminals. And here's that box I was telling you to check during the install. Say I want the LTSP. Well, that's not very descriptive. And then I guess you just have to go through that setup that we saw earlier. But there's lots of information out there. I've got this one, the one that helped me a lot. This one helped. This webpage, I'll probably post these up, is using this configuration here. It's configuring here. The IP tables, and basically this is setting it up so that basically your stuff comes in on one Ethernet on one port and then forwards it to the other. Further, comes in one jack, gets forwarded out to the other one. So pretty simple. Once I got that figured out, it's like, okay, that was one problem. But then here's this is an installation page. I'm probably not gonna. Is this? I just accidentally scrolled. Down to the next page I wanted to go down to. But this is how to This is a great article here about walking through the installation and setup of the server. But yeah, the big thing is that the port that's facing toward the thin clients. So basically, you have the internet on one port, and on the other port, you have where the thin clients are. And for that one, you want to make sure that that one is a static IP, because you don't want it to be like changing on the thin clients, because that would be bad. So that one needs to be static. And this is basically just a setup that for assuming that you have Ubuntu already installed and that you have two NICs. Oh, no. That's what most of the guys assume is. You're already running Ubuntu, you have two NICs, and your Ubuntu desktop server is performing the DHCP unit duties. So basically, handing out all the IP addresses. So he's like, this is why it was helpful for me. So his instructions are for if you're running headless and a headless server with a single NIC card, so a single Ethernet port, and that your router handles the DHCP duties for your network. Then, so goes through setting up, getting your server a fixed IP address. Then you install the LTSP, which is pretty simple. You just need to do this sudo apt-get install LTSP. You can read. So I'll probably drop this link also in the show notes. I'm trying to get a little bit better at the show notes. And then you need to, you have to edit the DHCP to get it set up right. And then you restart it. And then this is big here that you build the client image, because it's basically like an image of the hard drive, basically, for your thin clients. So when you build that, that's what your thin clients are going to be running from, is it'll mount it, virtually and stuff. And then after that, you just boot up your thin client. You're ready to rock and roll. And basically, user-wise, you're going to be creating your users on your server with whatever whatever user you set up at the beginning when you're installing the server. That'll be you'll be able to log on to the LTSP. With your LTSP with that. I was trying to get, and then you can create other users. For me, I basically just I have my user, which is the admin user, and then I just created another user that they could use to log on when they needed it. Simple. Not really for security purposes, just kind of because, the fact that it didn't have like a secure password in any way, shape, or form. You probably just sat down there and guessed the username and password. But yes, that's that. And this back what I was talking about. Oh no, this is about distribution of the LTSP. Most of it's run on Ubuntu. And a few other things. CentOS, OpenSUSE, though, whatever that is, Red Hat, Fedora. I can't pick out what that Otro. I don't know what Otro is. And then other. But yeah, so I was showing you, so earlier it's about how it's used all over the place. Which there you can see. But yeah, so I'm back. But yeah, I was hoping to get the terminal up and actually be able to add it in as my second account and then be able to show you that. But apparently since last time I used it, something broke. So it is not getting internet for some reason. I probably just need to, I don't know what I need to do. It's like, but yeah, for some reason, it's like it doesn't even. It's like it's not. Doesn't even see the network card. That's really strange. I don't know what his problem is. I don't know what to figure out. Oh shit! I know what I need to do. Ha ha. Let's see what the ping does. It's not doing anything so far. But yeah, so it's kind of an interesting thing to do, and it's kind of fun. I mean, it's a lot to take me to basically take a computer that was like, I mean, most people would consider worthless, and basically multiply it into 5 or more. Like, we'll see if restarting it does anything for it. But yeah, so it's kind of I guess, a unique way of, basically what all the show is all about, repurposing and, you know, I don't know. I always kind of feel like, I mean, a lot of my life is, you know, a lot of the jobs taking, I know, you know, finding those crazy deals or, you know, taking very little and you doing a lot with it. Um, but always kind of fun stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I always enjoy the thrill when you're able to, you know, pull something out of the bag. I always feel like, you know, I kind of don't. I don't know. It's like I don't want to like um be like it's like I'd rather not have people come and be like, oh wow, you guys have really old stuff. I'd be like rather be like them like, wow, you guys do a lot with what you have, kind of a thing. Where it's not so much about what the old equipment, it's about what we're doing with it. Uh, Plus, I mean, if you can do a ton with the not very good stuff, like just imagine like when you do get good stuff, like you'll be able to do even more with it because kind of almost training yourself to not accept very little poor equipment as an excuse to lower your standards. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get this. Oops, I just realized I put in. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think whatever is working properly. They're not quite communicating properly. I don't know why. Cause it's really funny. Cause like they kind of have to get the operating system. The internet part of it isn't quite working. I have to fix that. But yeah, so I don't know. I hope you guys found this kind of interesting. I find it. I mean, I love this stuff. I love it. Might be part of the reason I have what I think. This is two old computers over there. 3, 4, 5. Kind of an older one out there. 6. Is that really all? Oh yeah. I feel like I'm missing one. 4, 5. I guess I got the thin clients. I don't know. That must be it. But and of course, got the Raspberry Pis. Cheap. But yeah, so I think we're gonna call it a show. about that time. But yeah, so stick around for the post show if you like, as we kind of wrap things up, shut everything down, shut down the thin client, probably run through an update on this guy, the server, just to make sure we got everything. But yeah, fun stuff. I will try to get those links out in the show notes pretty quickly. I'll try to work on getting some of the other shows up. But yeah, it's been crazy trying to keep up with the money. And come out and join us. Come out and join us live, because you do. Then you catch the pre-show, which today was pretty short because I was running high on schedule. You also catch the post show. Sometimes we get some good stuff. Sometimes it's just me rambling and shutting things down. But yeah, fun stuff. But yeah, I said last week that I had some maybe more detailed information about other podcasts I'm looking at starting. So here's what I'm thinking. Bible podcasts, I think aim for third week of March. So that would be sometime after the 14th, sometime the week of the 15th. It's going to be the goal. Start something then, so that we can rock and roll. I just got to nail down a few details. Would have liked to start it next week, but I think we're going to need a couple more weeks. Help nail down a name. But I'm trying to think. But there are some ideas. Probably go with a whole house apartment sort of theme. Probably something to do with either library or study. But that'll be forthcoming. The food one, I think. I think for right now, we're going to stick within the original start date of June, just because I feel like money-wise, maybe trying to get some stuff for co-host of the Bible show and stuff. It'd be great to, money is going to be a little bit tight there, and trying to stay within the budget. That's the important part. Maybe increase the budget a little bit, but we will see. Hoping to. But that's going to be really cool. I got some really, really awesome ideas for that. I'm really excited. The more I think about it, it's like, I wish I could start it now. But money, time. I feel like I don't want to jump from 1 to 3 podcasts. It's like I'm just trying to keep staying on top of one. And so I think that's going to be the plan. I think 2 weeks. We'll about 2 weeks. We'll start the Bible one, and then June for the food one. That one will be very interesting because I got some cool ideas for that. But yeah, so but yeah, so should be interesting. Ready to rock and roll. I don't know if I've got anything else I need to cover. I don't know. But yeah, so this weekend I'm gonna try to work on getting get either hoping to get running this weekend, and we may talk about it next weekend, or I'll get the PF Sense up and running. And if I do that, then I'll be good. And if I do that, if I talk about that, I may bring on a guest. Yes, guest. But we'll see. I think I gotta, like I said at the beginning, I gotta work on getting a little more proactive, get some other people in here who may know a little bit more than I do, and create some great content. But yeah, so I'm gonna go eat because I'm hungry. I fixed something beforehand, but it was done when I was coming in here, so I'm gonna go eat. So I'm gonna sign off. See ya later.